Nina. This is my brother George.
Hi.
I'll be interviewing him, and we're going to talk about his artwork. So we'll get started. Tell us about what you do.
Well, I'm a mixed media artist. I do a lot of things based on home design. Really was what got it all started, and from there I just kind of morphed into fine art and textile art and various other places, and also culinary arts and things like that. So very domestic kind of a person. And as you can see, starting in this small room, color is always an inspiration for me. Everything with me really starts with color and form. So I guess for me, I really don't have limitations when it comes to art. I see things through artistic eyes. I'm a very creative person as opposed to kind of an analytical person. So.
Awesome. Your artwork kind of is morphed into something new. We'll go into this room and we'll check out some of your new stuff.
Sure. Take a look at these over here.
Maybe, we'll start with these, and maybe you can tell us how you got started and what you would call this kind of medium or art form.
These are all three triptych as a mixed media pieces. Basically, they are plaster based with paper, and paper is one of the art mediums that I use probably the most widely throughout all of my art pieces, including home design, home lighting fixtures that I make for display and for art pieces themselves. So with these particular pieces, I was able to bring together a lot of elements, not only the paper, but also plaster of Paris, metal, stone, and wood, and also different paint mediums too, such as acrylics and encaustics as well. So it's a really huge combination and exploration of texture and form as well as color, and I really love color pops. So this really brings out deep reds, my love of green, and of course a little bit of blue.
I like how they're all monochromatic, but when you put them together, they create a color scheme of different colors, color combination of different colors.
Right.
And there was something you mentioned that I'm not too familiar with. Coptic or
Encaustics?
Oh, caustics.
Uh-huh.
Sorry.
Encaustics are
Encaustics. Okay.
Encaustics are a paint medium that's based on wax and heat principles. So they come in small tins in a wider range of colors, just like acrylic paints, but you apply them with a heater element as opposed to a brush.
Oh, okay.
And so when you use them, they turn to like glass, and then when the mediums are dry, you can buff them like you would jewelry in a way, to like a high luster.
Wow, that's cool. Very interesting. And over here, I don't know if you can get this, David.
Sure, and I can actually turn a light on here, which will feature not only the light fixture, but also the art piece here in the corner, and it'll give us a kind of a combination of things that I do here.
Yeah, this is your light fixture here,
Mhm.
one of them. And it's really, really cool. Can you tell us about how you made the base?
Sure, this was all done again with paper. I use a lot of found objects and found materials for my pieces, and I use a lot of recycled materials. And in this case, I collect cardboard of various thicknesses and purposes for my art. So this one in particular is done with cardboard as the backing piece. And all the cardboard is really just a basis for the layering of paper and stuff that you see here. And then the bamboo is woven into the slits that are effectively cut through the circle. And as you weave the bamboo, it bends the structure on its own without even trying. So it kind of like morphs into its own shape. And then what I did here is I wanted kind of a tribal motif to go with the piece. So I just did layering in, again, cardboard layers that are spaced behind each other with like a nut. And then the layering encompasses crushed granite, as well as copper fittings and copper wire and various other mediums, as well as acrylic paints and things like that.
Awesome.
Mhm.
Awesome. Why did you choose this art form?
Well, I think just like anything else that I do, it's always exploratory. And the only way that I really can understand the depth of talent, I guess, is to just let my imagination go. And the canvas piece has happened because I was really kind of on a dead end with some of the things that I was doing. And I decided to go and just buy a stack of canvases, and I thought, I'm going to try a real art piece here, and I'm going to try something different. So I sat down and did it, and the flow was almost immediate. I really felt an attraction to the complexity of something so small, because it's me, I'm used to home design on a grand scale.
Right.
This effectively brought all of that into a very small place, and the challenge was to create something that spoke with such limited space in which to do it, and that was really cool. That was a neat experience.
Yeah, I think it's neat that you started with some paper crafts and home design type stuff, and then it kind of all came together in this medium.
Right, right.
And that just shows evolution and growth of an artist. And like you said, you were at a dead end, you wanted to try something new,
Mm-hmm.
but old skills and techniques helped you with that, or showed up into a new kind of way of looking at your work.
Absolutely, and the funny thing with that is that all of those old techniques that I've used throughout the years come to play prominently in the newer pieces that I'm doing. So it's like all of those skills never really go away or are set aside. They crop up time and time again because you like particular mediums and you've loved to use them throughout your entire career. And in my case, it's really essentially papers.
Yeah.
Paper craft for me has always been top of the list, and I don't know why I'm so attracted to it, but it works for me.
Yeah, yeah.
It really speaks to me.
It's
heavy.
like something you're comfortable with and something you're comfortable exploring.
Exactly.
Which is really cool.
Exactly.
Let's see. What do you? I think I might have asked you that already. What do you like most about this art form? About this new stuff that you're doing?
I think it's just the freedom of expression. There is no need for specifics when it comes to the art piece. In other words, like when you're dealing with fine art and you're dealing with, anatomy and things like that, you're really focusing on creating an image that evokes something that people can understand in the piece. So, say a horse running through a pasture and there's a person standing there in a tree. Well, there's different interpretations to make all that come out, but essentially you're creating that picture. With this freeform art, it kind of speaks for itself, and it comes out on its own, and it allows itself to live, and I just kind of, I'm just the piece that makes it all happen, that puts it down, basically.
What is your favorite piece to date, and why?
My favorite piece to date has really got to be, honestly, I believe it's this one here. And I'll pull it down for us to see close up.
Yeah.
Because of the dramatic nature of the piece in the first place. It has so much going for it because it's such a small canvas, it's such a small area, it evokes a lot of imagery in literally 6 inches by 4 inches. And in this case, I used a lot of two-dimensional layering techniques to bring out an image that's not manipulated by brush strokes to create the depth. It's literally three-dimensional layering, one on top of the other. And the whole piece is built by blocks that hold up the imagery at different level and different stages to give you the complete picture in the piece. And again, it's mixed media. And another thing I use heavily in my art pieces are Montana sapphires. I collected them and I have a great selection of them, and I tend to put them in a lot of my pieces. And various things such as encaustics again, as well as acrylics. And this also shows my love of imagery that exists prior to me making art. And in this case, it's photography and things that I use as cutout. and then I reinterpret the cutout with new colors and new layering techniques to change it into my vision of what it is.
Wow, that's amazing. And this here is a little technique that you do
Right.
all on its own, right?
Right.
This little crackling.
The crackling, that's really signature and key in a lot of my artwork. You'll find that artists of any sort tend to reflect back on specific things that they do, and it shows up in a lot of their artwork time and time again. And the fracture cracking is one of my hallmarks.
That's really cool. I like how you incorporated that as to kind of reflect like what a marble or ancient form might.
Exactly, because the image originally was an actual photograph of a terrace overlooking a mountain scene that was a picture on a photograph, on a photo album. And all I did was take the picture out and then manipulate it with new colors and new mediums to change the direct effect of what it was. What I really liked was the shape of the piece, and it gave the foundation for the rest of the art piece. And then I pulled elements from other sources in order to complete it and make it kind of the mysterious piece that it ended up being, you know?
Yeah. It also brought all these pictures of, I don't know if they're Roman Greco
Exactly,
statues
exactly.
back to life.
Exactly. And that's what makes it a lot of fun. And then you have really interesting mediums like the black on the mountains. I wanted the black to seem like it was at dusk, right before sunset, where the mountains start looking very shadowy and dark. And I wanted to give them texture and a little bit of sparkle, so what I used is silica, which is a very fine glass.
Right.
And it's like a sand, and you just apply it like that, and it creates the texture. And then the beading are glass beads that are micro small like that.
Excellent. Awesome.
So this is a good example of what you see on a lot of these other pieces brought into one single piece on a grand scale in a way. And I think of all of them, this was probably the hardest because of the scale that everything went on.
Right. Because you're used to working larger.
Exactly, like that, for example.
Yeah.